Hello, friends. This is Erwin here, bringing you the truth about real estate investing. And this week we are giving you an update on the latest on government subsidies for small businesses. That includes you landlords with Cherry Chan, CPA of Real Estate Tax Tips. She's also my wife, and she'll also be sharing why she calls me an a-hole sometimes. I hope you're all having a great summer. I know it's not like other summers, but this too shall pass, and no pressure or anything. But hopefully you're taking this time to learn something new. Make more time for yourself and your loved ones. As it is social distance friendly, it was one of the first sport activities to open up. I personally have taken up golf, and it's been a lot of fun. I used to avoid golf because it seemed unproductive. I mean, in my opinion, it's not really a workout. This again, no judging. This is, my CrossFit gym's opening up next week, so I'll be doing CrossFit. It's a little bit different than I ride in a golf cart. I lose my ball, so my opinion, I lose my ball all the time. So in my opinion, it's irresponsible to not have a cart, so I can go find my golf ball. but I used to think that golf is just time consuming and unproductive. But when golf is done right, no different than networking. When networking is done right, when it's done for the wealth hacker, when you assemble high-level individuals who are successful entrepreneurs and investors, then it is a great time. I'm just learning this. The easiest way to improve your mindset is to spend more time with high-level people. And I've been golfing with some high-level achievers, like my good friend Charles Baugh, who's been developing land, flipping properties, and he holds quite a bit of real estate. It's funny that I wrote this before he sent me a message today, and so keep your eyes on this guy. We're not now. We're successful in business and investing. We're not high flying, high achieving golfers. My buddies, they'll golf and they'll hit in the 80s or the 90s, and they let me tag along. I range in the 105 to 115 range, mostly because I think they only let me come along because I'm easy pickings for betting on golf. This one time, I accepted a terrible 6 handicap. Again, my friends are in the 90s. I'm in the hundreds. I accepted. Stupid me, my bad. I accepted a 6 handicap, so that ended up that round of golf ended up costing me $300. It was and the silver lining is at least the bet was the loser has to donate to a charity of their choice. So of course my choice was the Hamilton Bash Brigade. Quick update on the Hamilton Bash Brigade. We had to scale back significantly for Easter with COVID and all. Remember, it was pretty early into COVID, so we had to make some decisions without knowing a whole lot. In the end, what we did was we had our team captains. They delivered gift cards to 30-something poor families in Hamilton, $100 gift cards, and but we plan to do significantly more for Thanksgiving. And it'll be the same families, so we're not looking for new families. It'll be the same families so that we can give them closer to a full experience, give them our best. So expect changes. An indoor party is off the table, but don't worry, we will have I have some great ideas that'll make this a pretty good experience. And of course, we're still going to do gifts and clothes and food as well. All right, the need is great, and we'll be there to do our small part. Real estate wise, I hope you're all doing well. According to the Globe and Mail today, Toronto real estate is up 12%. It's actually 11.9%. Prices are up 11.9% from June this year over June last year. Hamilton, where I invest, and many of our clients invest, including the areas west of that, Niagara region, Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, Brantford, Ontario. Hamilton is up 13.7% as per the Real Estate Association of Hamilton Burlington over that exact same period of June, right? So Hamilton's outperforming Toronto, which is great. And also more fun facts is June 2020 is 3% higher than May of 2020. So month over month, 3% higher average prices. So hopefully you all already got in and you're already into this market. If not, there probably is more opportunity. And like I said to my friend Justin Conoco, I was saying the market's the way it is now. So it's on fire. It's a complete seller's market. Imagine what happens when immigration comes back. And does anyone not think that people want to come back to Canada? If you don't think so, just have a look at the COVID stats in the US and how much better we are faring than they are. So if you haven't been following the news, then you may have missed that CMHC predicted an up to 18% drop in Canadian real estate prices. So understand that is a national number. Provinces like Alberta and Saskatchewan are likely getting hurt by oil prices the way they're going. But if say that correction happened to Toronto and Hamilton prices, so if we had to scale back 18% in prices, are we looking at about losing 18 months of appreciation? Like I've held a lot of my properties for more than 5 years, so to give back 18 months of appreciation, not the worst thing. If you're flipping, I'd definitely be concerned. If you think that what CMHC says is going to come true, but if you're holding for the long term, then like I am, like Cherry and my intention is to pass on our properties to our kids. So we're investing for like the 20-year term, 25-year, 30-year, beyond that. So I'm personally not that worried. And if we do see price regression of that much, you better believe we'll be buying more property. So speaking of kids, Cherry enrolled our kids in a bunch of camps. The YMCA had to cancel. They are overnight camp, so that was a shame. But we booked our kids for other camps thanks to COVID. Thank you, COVID. So one of the camps that we booked our kids for is a week-long program of bike riding. So this is the first time my kids are doing a bike riding camp. It's only 1 week. They're entering directly into level 3. I expect my kids to pass level 3, which leads to level 4, which teaches riding on the road. So the rules of the road, how to do signals, street signs, all those sorts of things. But that's for ages 6 and up. My daughter Robin is old enough for level 4, but my son is not. He just turned 5. So Cherry asked Robin, my oldest daughter, if she'd like to take level 4. But Cherry explained to her that the agenda. She explained to her the agenda, but that also Bruce would not be able to join her in the class. So they're both taking level 3. If they wanted to do level 4 this year, they couldn't do it together. So Robin said no. She'd rather wait until next year when Bruce can take level 4 with her, so she can watch out for him. Isn't that the cutest? And this is why she deserves the house we bought her. And she deserves, in my opinion, the house that we live in right now, when she's older and if she wants it. Quick stock hacking update. We received a lot of messages after the last one. And again, I'm not trying to solicit anything. I think the whole point of the show is that you all have more truths about investing, more realities on how to make money. As long as you're making money and do good things with it, that just makes me happier than anything. So please don't throw any shade my way. Last week I finally beat Cherry. So we've been competing in he trader versus she trader for about 15 weeks. It's just a for fun thing, as long as we make money, we're both happy. So I finally beat Cherry for the 4th time. So the score is 4 for me and 11 for her. She obviously has an enormous lead, and she also had a monster week last week. But last week I had my second best week ever, with almost 5 figures of US dollars. So that's cash, as in it's realized. I exited the position; those profits are sitting as cash in my account. So I took my second best effort to beat her. We're really lucky to have trading coaches that we have in our lives. This is not as complicated as some people might think it is. It's not nearly as time consuming. I jokingly say I'm just a robot trader. I just trade the trades that my coaches send me. So June was a great month for me, at 18% returns, ROI, and that is gross and not annualized. That's a gross figure. So if you're interested in learning more about stock hacking, we have a special offer, www.stockhackeracademy.ca/special offer. All the links and everything, show notes, everything, it's all in the show notes on the website, truthaboutrealestateinvesting.ca. Speaking of Cherry, she's also this week's guest, here to share about the latest in government subsidies, why she got into stock hacking, which effectively doubled our efforts, as I was already really deep into learning how to trade, and also our BHAG, which is an acronym for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal, and so much more. So without further ado, I give you my lovely wife, Cherry Chan. Hi, honey.
Hi.
What's keeping you busy these days?
Well, it is something called the CEBA loan, CEBA loan. I think it's called Canada Emergency Business Account Loan, the $40,000 loan that's offered by the Canadian government to small business owners to help them through the COVID-19 downturn in the business, help them with cash flow.
Did we apply yet? Are we applying? Do we qualify?
We have multiple businesses. One of the business already applied because in that business, 2019, we had the payroll, and therefore in the first round of application, we already qualify. And the moment that it was open, of course, the first thing that we do is to apply for the $40,000 loan. Definitely help. I think about 2 months ago now, it feels like it's so long, but about 2 months ago, our prime minister recognized that there was a problem with the initial qualification criteria. It doesn't cover enough people or businesses because there are certain businesses that do not have payroll, do not have employees, and therefore they didn't qualify for this same loan. And he expanded the criteria to include people or businesses that do not qualify under the initial criteria, which was the $20,000 payroll in 2019. Now they also include businesses that have eligible non-deferrable expenses for over $40,000 to allow them to qualify. And the eligible non-deferrable expenses include, you have to check the website because they constantly update it, but it includes a regularly scheduled debt obligation, property tax, insurance, utilities, as well as subcontractor payment. So if you have over $40,000 of these expenses in 2020, and together with a business number, if you are a registered business, you would have a business number. You have filed 2018 or 2019's tax return. You don't have to file 2019's tax return, but you would need to file either 2018 or 2019 or both to qualify. And you also need to have a business bank account to qualify. And under those qualifications, you would then be able to get $40,000 from the CLA. Well, actually, it's not the CLA, it's the government. The $40,000 is interest-free until December 31st, 2022. And if you repay by that day, you would have $10,000 of that waived. So you just need to repay $30,000 of it.
Does this help many real estate investors?
Yeah, absolutely. For real estate investors that own their properties in the corporation, they would have the business number. So therefore they would qualify. And majority of the corporation, at least the clients that I work with, we recommend our clients to have a business bank account. And so through the business bank account platform, they would be able to enter the information and apply for the loan.
I've heard this business account thing come up. This is the first time in my life I've heard business accounts like being talked about. Just with my own friends, many guests of the show, they talk about how they need. I've been hearing from them that they need business accounts to be able to apply for CEBA.
Yeah.
And kind of like in the same vein, we're needing, even our own situation, we're needing business credit cards as well.
That has nothing to do with the CEBA account.
I know it doesn't, but still, I think it's important. I think it's helpful advice to the real estate investor as well.
Yes, because every time we apply for a mortgage, they always look at our personal credit report. If you have a dedicated credit cards, which we do, have a dedicated personal credit cards for the use of business, corporation in particular, the credit report will show a large balance because we're running a business. So expenses, monthly credit expenses are large on the credit card, but it's always paid for in full by the business. And it shows up on a personal credit report, and the lenders don't like to see it. They always put a criteria saying that pay off that credit card loan from the proceeds of refinance or whatever as a condition to qualify for the loan. I mean, to improve our future mortgage qualification ability, we're trying to close some of these credit cards and switch it over to the business register credit card.
Right, because I think my my American Express, I have a business card, so I believe the annual fees are like double what it is for a personal credit card. So that's the lovely part of running a business.
Well, like there are people that came to me and gave me the feedback that, hey, I don't have a business number and therefore do I qualify because they own their properties in their personal name. And as a result of this SIBA loan, they were thinking, hey, maybe I should register for a business number. Just because you register for a business number doesn't mean that you have a business in there.
Mhm.
So yeah, like, yes, there is a cost of running the business, and everything got price double, even our mortgage,
Mhm.
because it's in the corporation. We have to pay 1% premium compared to if we were to hold a mortgage in our personal name. But there is also the benefit of running a business.
Right. Yeah, and same with our banking fees. For example, like our charity is a corporation, so our banking fees are significantly higher than what it would be for a personal.
Yeah, but our charity has a special discount, so the fee is actually not that high.
I just don't like paying any fees. I have issues. So I have a question then. So if someone is already owning property in their personal name, can they make changes today in order to qualify for SIBA loan?
No.
So they're stuck.
Yeah, the business has to exist in, don't quote me on it because I don't have any information in front of me. But I think that you need to file your 2018 or 2019 tax return. So the business number has to exist in at least 2019.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's great. Well, for the people who made the investment up front, then they get the benefit from this. And you mentioned people can get more information on the website. Which website is that?
You have to search SIBA loan, CEBA loan, and they would come up with a website.
Now, you wanted to talk about other things today too. Anything else we should talk about SIBA loans before we move on?
I think the best advice is that you have to visit the government website regularly and you apply through your bank. Banking platform is slowly being changed over to allow you to apply under the extended or expanded criteria. Emailing me may or may not be able to get you the answer. Just so you know, it's just that we are following the same information as you are publicly. We have very limited information. I just emailed my bank, my account manager, and he said he doesn't have much information about the loan as well. But then if you talk to CRA, they are also saying the same thing. Well, we don't administer this program. So it's very limited information available. And just make sure that you do have that proof that you have those $40,000 expenses before you apply.
Right. But you're still updating folks on your website?
Yes, I am. So you can go to my website, realestatetextips.ca, REALSTATE taxtips.ca. I think because of my accent, people always misunderstood it as something else, but it's realestatetextips.ca.
realestatetextips.ca. We'll have the links in the show notes on truthaboutrelestateinvesting.ca. And you post regularly. You post once a week on this website?
Yes, I do. I do a regular weekly blog post. At least I'm trying. It's every other week right now, but pretty much trying to be a weekly blog post.
Right. And you've already written a post on SIBA, right?
Many of them. I feel so bored every time I have to write about SIBA, but it's so relevant to real estate investors, especially those who own their properties within the corporation.
Right. Well, I married my accountant, so I'm grateful for this and that I have someone else to interpret legalese, especially accounting legalese for me.
You have no idea how lucky you are.
How much would my tax bill be a year?
Anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000, depending on how you count. Do you count the business that we own together and we work in together? That was a lot higher last year too. Right?
Well, I got a nice refund just I got a check in the letter just the other day. We won't talk about that. Anything else about SIBA loan you want to talk about? What about other subsidies? Any other updates since you were last on? You were last on about almost 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It's been some time.
So the latest update is that the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidies, the program alone has been extended to September. So it was supposed to end in June, and now it's being extended to September. So 3 more months. As long as you have the revenue drop of 30% year over year in the month of June, you would then be able to qualify for the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidies, which provides up to 75% reimbursement of your payroll expenses, up to a maximum of $847 per week.
And that's primarily useful for employers, people with small businesses.
Yes.
Okay. How about landlords with tenants that are struggling? What's available to them, including our own students, for example? We have a student rental near McMaster University, and they wrote us a very nice, lengthy email about their own difficulties getting summer jobs, which I don't understand.
So what's available to students specifically is the Canada student, probably something emergency student loan or program benefit. It's $1,250, I believe. I don't have any information in front of me. Obviously, we just pulled this together the very last minute. I don't have a laptop in front of me, but it's roughly $1,250 per month. You can still, just similar to the CERB benefit, the $2,000 benefit, the student can still earn up to $1,000 per every 4 weeks and still qualify to claim the $1,250 student benefit, emergency student benefit.
So should students, well, actually, quick math, even if they're making minimum wage, $14 an hour, so you said 1,000?
1,250.
1,250?
Yes.
That's quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
I don't know if I made that in the summer. That's equivalent of being paid almost 90 hours.
Oh, sorry. It's $1,000 salary, and then 1,250 plus 1,250 for the benefit. And then if you also volunteer, there is another volunteer grant. I think it's a maximum of $5,000 for the whole summer. So there's lots of opportunities for the kids, the students, to get money. You can find a summer job. You can, as long as you make less than $1,000, you would still qualify for the student loan. And then you can also do volunteer work to qualify. There is a ratio, I think, for $1,000 for every 100 hours that you volunteer or something. For more information, you have to double check with the grant available.
Right.
Yeah.
And we listed this all out for our students, did we not?
Yeah, we did.
Is it okay I include that in the show notes?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hopefully I can find them.
I mean, it
So
is
they're
all
really-
on my website.
Website's fine too. So is there really any reason a student should complain about, they can not work and get, just even with one subsidy at $1,250 a
Every
month,
4 weeks, yeah.
that's the equivalent of 90 hours of work at minimum wage. Is this taxable?
I would believe it would be eventually taxable, but just like you work, it's taxable, right?
So still, it's the equivalent of 90 hours of minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no excuse to not have money.
Yeah.
All you student investors, I hope you're paying attention. I'll post these links, the same ones that we shared with our students, in the show notes, assuming I can find them. Anything else we should talk about with the subsidies that we're getting from the government? They've been doing a lot, and
Yeah.
the tax bill will be significant. So I agree they have to do this, considering that they were so slow to respond to COVID. But yeah, the tax bill's coming.
So just keep in mind that whatever subsidies or loan that you're going to get or you already got, just make sure that you save aside money for tax bill. So the CERB, the $2,000 benefit is also taxable. So depending on what your tax rate is, it would be, you will have to add that onto your income for your 2020 tax return. And I would imagine the student benefit is also taxable. And that could be a problem. I don't think the volunteer grant is taxable, but the student benefit would be taxable.
Okay, very good. I always learn something new talking to you.
Thank you.
Like I tell people, like people DM me and text me and email me tax questions like, you don't understand. I don't need to know this stuff. So I kind of like not try to learn it. I focus on other areas.
Funny.
I'm also barred from giving accounting advice because I'm not an accountant.
Yes, please do not do any accounting advice because your accounting advice is giving me a heart attack. So I don't want people to sue me because Erwin gave some accounting tip or tax tip.
Sounds good to me. Now let's move on. You wanted to talk about our BHAG?
I know. We learned this new concept. We joined a new organization or a group. Sometimes I feel like it's almost like a cult when you attend the calls. But this organization is a group of entrepreneurs come together, educate each other on how to build a better business. One of the things that was introduced is called the BHAG. It's something called Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. I hope I said it right so people can understand what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What it means is that you need to have 10-year goal for your business. So whether you're real estate investors or whether you are small business owners, which we are both, we need to have that goal for our businesses. So then we can keep our direction there and then keep our eyes in front to implement whatever steps that's needed in the next 3 months to get to that goal in 10 years. And I thought it was an interesting goal to drive us forward. And so after we took the lesson or read the book, I think it's more from reading some books that we decided to brainstorm our BHAG. And we call it the BHAG just because the book referred to it as BHAG. We brainstormed the idea of like maybe a revenue goal or the number of people that we help. And we finally came down with a reasonable BHAG, our goal.
Mm-hmm.
You want to share?
Mm-hmm.
You have it in front of you. You have 4 monitors. I'm sitting in the new office that Erwin has, and he has 4 monitors in front of him.
And then shout out also to Marianne Gillespie, who's been pushing me for a BHAG for quite some time. It's like a vision. It's like a combination of a vision and a goal. Something you would put down on paper to explain to everyone that's around you what it is that you're after. So Joel on our team, who's been on this podcast, Joel is now on our team for the last not even 6 months.
6 months.
6 months?
Since January.
Okay,
yeah.
Since January. Funny how things have gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I met Joel a year ago. Now he's a manager on our team. Anyways, so Joel took a first crack at it, and then after some edits, here is our BHAG. We want to create 10,000 millionaires with golden hearts. There is a lot of criticism directed at rich people, but if you are a good person, please get rich and do good things. We want to flip the script. Although there are many ways to build wealth, in our practical experience, real estate is the most reliable wealth builder over time. It is the easiest to leverage with cheap debt, aka mortgages, and is tax deductible. Using real estate by 2030, we want to help 10,000 Canadians become independently wealthy humanitarians who are unstoppable forces for positive change in their communities. We are the change we want to see in the world. Who wouldn't want to be a part of a network like that?
Yeah, that gives me chills the first time I see it. It's so true, so real,
Mm-hmm.
so close to our heart. And that's why I want to share this whole message that we have.
Yeah.
We're still in the process of trying to shorten it so that it will fit on our wall in just a couple of sentences instead of like 10 sentences. But yeah, that's the draft. If you have any idea, feel free to DM Erwin directly, not me, or Joel. Better Joel, and then he would be able to shorten it, and that is really a great message.
It's funny how long it's taken us though, and sometimes it's just easier for someone on the outside to put your thoughts on paper, or to, like, Joel's observed us for quite some time, and I think that helped him put this on paper. He's done volunteer work for our charity. He's done work with us. So, and he's a trained copywriter as well.
That's true. That's true. It just makes our businesses a lot more meaningful than when you put it down on paper. That's really who we are to begin with. It's just when you officially write it down, it's something completely different.
I should probably swap out the description for this show, because much of the criticism on this show is often about, this is all about getting rich, specifically me getting rich. They have no idea that the greatest joy I get is when our clients are wildly successful.
Yeah, I think our goal is to inspire other people, right? I didn't really want to, which leads perfectly into stock hacking, to be honest. I didn't really want to do any stock trading because Erwin has spent so much time talking about it.
And money.
And trading.
A lot of hours.
I think last year we fought a lot because last year was Wealth Hacker Conference. For those of you who don't know, we hosted just under 1,600 people in Grand Cardone in Toronto.
Yeah.
And we're still doing one, but we're not doing it this year. We're trying to find the right date to set up.
When COVID's over.
Yeah, when COVID is over. But last year when we did it, I was the backbone to the whole Wealth Hacker Conference. I managed everything while Erwin kept talking about trading. And I was going crazy on marketing the event, and all he could talk about was trading. And naked puts. And I was so upset at him. And
you even restricted my funding.
Yes, I don't want to give him money. we have the World Hacker Conference that we had to fund, and it wasn't cheap to fund the event, right? So I thought I was just not happy last year. I don't want to touch trading. My best friend has started trading. Other people around me have started trading, and I refuse to do trading.
Yeah, it can be distracting.
Yeah. But then we realized that by hosting all these trading courses, we realized that there were no women involved.
Mhm.
And I mean, the only reason why I'm doing the stock hacking thing is because if I can do it, probably there are so many other women out there that could also do the same thing, because I'm just holding my phone here, looking at my trading portfolio and doing all the trades using my app. And so
and sorry, just to get some background, when I would stand in front of our classroom of Stock Hacker Academy students, it was definitely less than 3-to-1 men to women in the room.
So 25% of women.
I think it was less than that. Less than that. Versus our own clientele in real estate is closer to 50-50. At least in mine. I know that's not. I don't think that's represented in most rooms of networks, but at least in our clientele, it's easy for us to define. And then to me, it was just surprising with doing stocks and options, stock hacking, as we call it, because there's no physical requirement. There's no, men and women I find are equally intelligent. I don't know why there was such a large divide, why there's so many more men than women that are interested in this. And then the advanced class was even worse. I think it was maybe closer to 10-to-1 men to women.
Well, it's not technically easy to do stock hacking.
Nothing's easy in life.
Yeah, there are so many new concepts to learn, right? Like I started off by having a coach, and he's not cheap. He just sent out an email to increase his fees, but he wasn't cheap. And I sat there, we had a weekly call, and at the time I was supposed to do paper trading. So trade in a fake account.
This January?
That was January or February.
Right.
And I sat in front of the screen and did all these calls, and he talked to me about all these terminologies and strategies that we had. And I was like so tired, and I was falling asleep. And at every single session, I think the first month, the per session cost was like over $1,000 US per session. And I did nothing.
Right, your practice trading.
No, I wasn't even practice trading at all.
Good investment. Good investment.
I didn't want to tell my husband that I just spent over 5,000 on a training course that I did not, I fell asleep through. I didn't take action until I think mid-March.
Sure. How'd that go?
It was an up and down roller coaster ride. And we were showing consistent result since April, I would say.
Wasn't your first month still very successful?
Yeah, so yes, I don't know if we're sharing all these details. Like, I mean, to be full disclosure, I'm just doing the trades that's provided by my coach, and I'm just doing it mechanically.
Yeah, there's no special genius. In my opinion, there's no special genius required.
Yeah. I mean, I learned the terminology. I have a basic understanding of what the strategy is about, and I know how to buy insurance. I call it buying insurance. When the market goes against us, and those are all I need. And it has been successful. We have come to, I also run multiple businesses on my own, and I have 2 young kids at home, and I also have my 3rd kid sitting in front of me. I have to babysit him sometime. So my life is busy. So it took me a while to figure out the trading strategy or lifestyle that I want. And I have purposely chosen to stay away from certain strategies that even my coach taught. So right now I found the happy medium in between.
Yeah, I think I found my happy medium probably within the last month. But can you share some of the results? Because again, like some of the greatest criticisms of this show is that we were all about trying to make money selling Stock Hacker Academy. People don't understand how we take this quite personally in our ability to help people make money. And so you went down this path because you want to inspire women. Because I was already full send into this. We didn't logically it didn't really make sense, because stock hacking can be very scalable. It's just another zero. These are all just numbers. It's not exactly more effort to trade more money, but you wanted to prove a point. So what is the point that you've made?
that I can beat Erwin every single week.
Not every
Not
week.
quite every single week, majority of the time.
I think over 15 weeks, I think I won 4 times.
Yeah. So we have a similar, can we say that we have a similar size account? I think we have contributed the same amount of money in Erwin's trading account and my trading account. The only difference is that he lost some money in the March.
Yeah, during the COVID crash.
Yeah, during the COVID crash. So he's trading with a little bit less capital than I am right now, but I have been consistently beating him.
Right. How about percentage wise? What are your returns as a percentage?
Can I not share? Because I don't want to pose a misleading, not misleading. Like I don't want people to think this is fake because I do have the result here. But it's so big that it's hard to believe.
Fine. That's okay. So I'll share because I'll post the image as well. So directly from my broker account, I'll share the image. I made 18% return on investment in the month of June, right? That's June alone. So that's return on investment. I prefer cash flow as my metric. So because I track on a weekly basis, so my weekly basis don't line up with perfectly with months. But my cash flow for June is just over $17,000 US. So that's, I like to be transparent.
Well, yes.
And then I guess Cherry beat me by a significant margin.
Not significant. What I wanted to say is that amount is also not representative according to our coach, right?
No, it is a bumper month.
Yeah.
But anyone who's in the stock market would know it's been a very good time to be investing, especially the style that we're trading in. But then also the flip side is, because then what people will often say to me is, oh, the stock market's going up like crazy. It's really easy to make money. Well, actually, no, because I think it was my third week, probably around your 4th or 5th week of actually live trading, was we were positioned to make money with the market going down. Then the very next day, the U.S. Federal Reserve said that they're going to introduce $6 trillion of stimulus funding. So we lost a bunch of money then. But even still, we're still managing a very, very, very impressive return. Even though we had the worst loss I've ever had was that week. But even still, my return is very significant. These things happen. We are actually positioned for the next time the market comes down. And we were discussing over the weekend, like, this is more cash flow than we make in our real estate portfolio. Not that we're saying real estate's bad. Real estate funded our accounts.
Yeah, if I look back in my
and just to be clear, like, real estate, as in our portfolio, our properties, that's what funded our accounts, not our businesses.
Oh, I think your account, yeah, it's our real estate, but I still think that the real estate is the one who funded your account, but it's our business who funded my account.
Okay. You're the accountant, so I'm sure you know.
No, it doesn't matter. But the goal is, what I wanted to say is that real estate is where we started. For those of you who went to the Wealth Hacker conference, I had this picture or slide when I did the presentation. How to become a wealth hacker when you are young is by saving money. That saving is important. And what we believe in is that having that saving invested, and if you have a smaller saving amount and you put it in, learn how to trade stock or trade in the market and make that consistent return. And then once you accumulate enough, you would put it into real estate. And once the real estate, you buy your first real estate, you will continue to pay down the mortgage, and you can then extract the equity out from your real estate in a few years and repeat, rinse, repeat, and rinse and repeat. I think that's very important. Real estate is where we started, and we're very grateful for the real estate part. It's just that it's also fun to add in this mix in our portfolio that we never considered having in the past. I've seen a lot of real estate investors who are I guess our trading coach would have this confirmation bias. Real estate is the best, real estate is the best, real estate is the best. There's no doubt real estate is really the easiest way to duplicate a business. Mm-hmm. Real estate on its own is business, but doesn't mean that our net worth is only comprised of real estate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have multiple streams of income. We have businesses, we have real estate, and I've had guests on this show who did not do well with real estate. So we're not saying it's all real estate's perfect, especially all you current Alberta investors, it's not perfect. I've brought up the example of Japan before, for example, where they have a shrinking population. So shrinking population means declining values. There's less demand. right? Versus here, there's a rush of immigrants trying to come to this country all the time, specifically when in the areas that we invest around the Golden Horseshoe. So, yeah, and you and I believe that we should have multiple streams of income. There's not necessarily one or better than the other. Our own coach, like Lee Lowell, is very sharing that he doesn't own any real estate outside of his home, right? That's kind of like what I've tried to do with this podcast is. And also, that was one of the lessons from a previous guest when Wade Graham was on the show. You cannot suffer from groupthink. If the group that you surround yourself with is wrong and you are adopting the same processes and practices, then it's not going to turn out well, right? Versus we try to be open-minded. We learn from people who are able to make money consistently on a consistent basis, and just have an open mind about it.
Our goal, going back to the BHAG, is to inspire other people to get rich, but do good things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just making money. For us to have that stock trading income coming in consistently, also allow us to invest in other stuff. And a lot of us suffer from this real estate cash flow, I guess, asset rich, cash flow poor syndrome.
Yeah.
We're still there. Don't get me wrong. We're still there. We're still struggling. Well, I wouldn't say struggling. Our properties carry themselves, except our office, because that's an office expense. Our office is carried by our business. But essentially what it means is just that, we want to live and use the cash flow. How do we extract it out from what we have, and without depleting the asset value? One of the ways to do it is the stock hacking thing. And I thought that was very interesting. It even opens my eyes up to like, hey, maybe I should also because our trading coach is very into insurance, and he gets so excited about, hey, like if you contribute to insurance, he doesn't do any real estate other than owning his own home. So I think what he says is that every time he talks about insurance, he said that, if you do this insurance policy, you can, in a few years, you can use it to refinance and borrow. We call it refinance, but I know in insurance term, it's not refinance. You can just get a line of credit against your insurance policy, and then you can borrow against it and use it to trade. And then I was like, hey, coach, this is called refinance in our real estate world, and you pay a lot less interest, half of the interest that he told me, to borrow against it and use it for investment. So I think we already got that covered, but it just opened our mind up to, hey, insurance is also part of these rich people, wealthy people way to leave a legacy to their kids. And it opens my mind up to, hey, like maybe we should consider other asset class in our portfolio as well, other than just real estate. If I die tomorrow, who's going to take care of the real estate?
I don't know.
Let's don't die tomorrow. But I'm just saying, if I have an insurance policy, it makes life a lot easier, right?
Hopefully. I'll need a new accountant.
Well, Erwin doesn't want me to use my trading profit to contribute to an insurance policy, and that's the reason why.
That's because we had already discussed that we have a significant amount of real estate, but like you've said, we're asset rich. We're not really getting to enjoy a lot of the fruits of our labor, versus the stock hacking provides a significant amount of cash flow. So I was hoping to enjoy some of it more. And then you say, insurance, like, another investment, more delayed gratification.
There's always something that we can invest in. I don't just look at that as an investment for our kids. I look at it also as an investment to our future ability to borrow. So you've hang out with people that have these type of life insurance policies, and it's easier for them to get their financing done on their next deal than regular people, because that's an asset in the eyes of the bank. I mean, that's an investment that we're trying to make. We haven't made it yet. Sometimes it's hard to sign off on the dotted line to commit so much every single year.
Right.
So we're still not struggling, but we're still having that discussion. But having that stock trading profit allows us to expand our horizon to different type of asset. That's all I'm trying to say.
For the listener's benefit, how much more is whole life versus term life insurance?
I guess it's the same question, similar analogy as like term renting versus owning a home. I think that would be easier. Like you do need to put up money to a larger sum. And depending on what your goal
Kind of like
is,
a down payment?
it's not quite like a down payment. Every year you contribute. And you don't have to contribute for the whole life. Your whole life insurance doesn't mean that you have to contribute every single year. You can stop at the 10th year or like 15th year. And that would be it. And let the policy covers itself. I am not an expert in this area, and I'm hoping one day we can get an expert on the show as well to cover.
Oh boy. I'm sure people are just like riveting, just grabbing their seats, excited to hear about insurance.
I'm really excited. I was really excited. I went through that 3-hour training by this insurance guy. I'm excited to have him as part of our team, to manage this asset class. Very super knowledgeable guy. Yeah. I don't know. I find that it's our duty. I just feel like it's our duty to simplify things, to make it easy for people to understand. We have a channel to share and inspire people. If you and I can do it, we're no different than any other people out there. Remember last year, as soon as we are done Wealth Hacker Conference, a couple of your friends were saying, a couple of people around us are saying that they are also going to do the conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We inspired. Yeah, I know we did inspire some people to do more. I've had friends, like close people to me, that said, like, I've been playing too small. It's time to 10x, and they are following through on that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like we love hearing all these stories. I love hearing stories from my clients saying, "Hey, because you have this competition with Erwin on trading profit, my wife feel a lot more comfortable trading now." I love hearing all these stories because. Like, I think women can do a lot more. I always tell Erwin that he could be harsh at times.
Let's say it.
Yeah, I can say that.
Tammy was on the show last week. Like, she was pretty frank about how I made her cry.
Yeah, so Erwin could be an ass at times, and he's the asshole that I needed when I was doubting myself. Like, mind you, I have more certificates than Erwin.
Yeah, only have one.
I have 3 in the other office.
Yeah, I can just look over my shoulder and I can see it. Yeah.
I did graduate from Waterloo. I still think Waterloo is a better school than Western, at least in accounting. I graduated with a master's degree. I was on the honor roll. But at the time when we were debating, like I've always fall back in this gender role that I believed. I don't know why it's ingrained in my heart, in my brain so badly. Probably because how traditional my parents still are today, that they think that the women should be the one that's staying at home taking care of kids. So the moment that I gave birth to Robin, our older one, I was like, can I just stay home? That's what I said to Erwin. Can I just stay home to take care of the kid? And it turns out I was a horrible mom.
That's a little bit harsh.
Well, at the time, I don't think I was enjoying the infancy stage. I like to see her smile, but I don't think I enjoyed that stage at all. And I recognize that. I think by recognizing the part that I'm not perfect and take responsibility and find someone that's more suited for the role of caretaking, and I get the time to find myself. So I was pushed by Erwin extremely hard at the time to start my own business, and that's the birth of my business.
Yeah, I get flack. I get flack on this show as well. Yeah, I recognize talent and I tend to push. Right? Not everyone accepts the pushing, but some people do, and they tend to excel.
So there was a last thing. There was a running joke by someone that we knew, calling Erwin the rising stock years and years ago, maybe a couple years ago. And I'm like, why do you call him the rising stock? Like, anyway, so he's been telling me that he's a rising stock. And after last year's Wealth Hacker Conference, I was like, Erwin, you have no idea. You were the one who married the rising stock.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, you're more important than I am. That's why you have the corner office and I just have this office closet.
Come on, this is not office closet.
We have all of our student rental bedrooms are bigger than this room.
No way.
Yes, they are.
So I did draw the line, but then for some reason the line they put it was a thick line, right? Because it was it was a wall that was previously built, but for some reason they decided to put the wall inside of the line instead of outside of the line. That would have made this office a lot bigger.
And it's calculating the square footage of my office.
It's fine.
It's about 8.5 by 8.5.
Did you tell people why we don't have the same size of office? It's just because of another reason.
I don't know. To check my ego. So my office is about 72 square feet. So our students would not accept this. And that's kind of classic us. We will always invest less in our own things than we will for business. Just like this office. This office is way nicer than our home.
Yeah. I got my open concept kitchen here. I don't have an open concept kitchen at home.
Anything else that we need to cover?
No, I think that's it. We talk about our BHAG. We talk about SIBA loan that I have been busy with. And then we talk about stock hacking. And I want to see more stories about women doing stock hacking as well. If you guys want to find out about stock hacking, make sure that you email us. I think the email address is iwin@infinitywealth.ca.
That could be right.
Yeah. And if you want to find out more about where to start, that's a good place to start. We have plans to host another class in the future as well. You don't have to learn it from us. You can learn it on your own, but just take the action.
Yeah, take action more than anything else. Like my baby cousin, he's making $600 a week, right? Of course, past results don't predict the future. Please don't take financial advice from us. We're not certified in these sorts of things. And you would love Leslie Collard. Leslie Collard messaging me once in a while, telling me how she's beating her husband, Jamie.
Yeah, that is one good example of wife beating the husband in trading. Yeah. So everyone can do it.
No, anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. I just don't know why. Not everyone's interested in making money, which is fine. But if you're interested in making money, again, you can go learn from anywhere. I don't care. We're very comfortable in what we do. We don't necessarily need to make another sale. We're just here to share what we learn. And again, we're not one delivering most of the course. It's Lee Lowell. So godfather of stock options, 30-year trader. We really couldn't find someone better to teach this subject. So that's all we try to do. Try to bring you the best of the best and learn more, share more.
Yeah, learn more, share more, do better things with the money that we have.
Awesome. So we'll call it a show? Wow, this is cool. We totally just winged this. Are you checking your stocks?
No.
Oh, I am. All right. Thanks, Cherry, for doing this. And realestatetextips.ca. And
Yes.
I'll post whatever I promised earlier on the show notes. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
If you're feeling confused after all the YouTube videos, books, and forum posts, you're probably still left with questions. Starting in real estate is really tricky. Trust me, I've been in this for a long time. And the real estate's always forever changing. What our strategy is for 2020 is very different than what our planned strategy was for 2019. Anyways, frustrated beginners often ask how legal basement suite conversions actually work. Most of the time, we can only give general answers, but now we can go deep. After this in-depth free class, you'll learn how to take your first steps as a real estate investor. Nothing's held back. Everything from analyzing basement suite conversions to renting out your first property for a profit, even how to refinance and do it all again. More secrets you'll uncover are how to profit in a hot market, municipal bylaws to watch out for, mortgage terms that favor refinancing, one barely used tactic for higher appraisals. And if you're frustrated, unsure how to get started, this is for you. Sign up now and be the first to know about the next class. You can go register at investortraining.ca/free class. Again, that's investortraining.ca/free class. And just to warn you, you probably want to do this soon. We filled up the first classes. We have 2 booked already for 2020. The first one filled up in 30 minutes. The second one, we don't know how quickly it filled up, but it filled up in the first day. So seats are absolutely limited. Demand is completely outstripping supply. So when you go register, when you see a new class opens up, register as fast as possible and hope to see you there. And yes, I will be there personally. Hope to see you there.